Doctor Who The Empty Child, the 9th episode of Series 1, is written by Stephen Moffat and starring Christopher Eccleston, Billie Piper and John Barrowman. So originally the episode was going to be called World War II, but then early versions of this script quoted this episode's title as An Empty Child, which would be a reference to An Unearthly Child, the very first Doctor Who episode, but they changed it into The Empty Child. Apparently Captain Jack's name was going to be called Captain Jax, J-A-X, but the idea was dropped and changed it into Jack. This is the first Stephen Moffat's episode written, apart from the parody Doctor Who The Curse of the Fatal Death, one with Rowan Atkinson, and the written is spot on. The opening scene with the Doctor and Rose in the TARDIS chasing that cylinder object through the vortex is fantastic. The Doctor and Rose landed in London during World War II in the middle of London Blitz. While the Doctor goes into a nightclub and goes on stage to speak to everyone by the microphone, Rose sees a child on the roof wearing gas mask. The way he shouted, "Mummy," that scene is so freaky. While Rose decides to climb on the rope to try and help that kid, turns out she grabbed a rope of a barrage balloon. When I first watched it at the age of 6 or 7, I was like, whoa, it was so intense. We weren't sure if she was going to fall to her death. I love the bit when the Doctor picks up a cat and saying, one day he meets someone to do the don't wander off thing. When the TARDIS phone rang and the Doctor tried to answer, I think we were like, that's not something you'd see in Doctor Who, as the telephone is normally just sitting there. So we have Nancy, played by Florence Hoth, and I think she's great. When she came up to the Doctor to tell him not to answer, and we're like, why not? Because the other side of the phone was the empty child, Jamie. That Nancy claimed it was her brother. The story was really sad when I heard the bomb fell on him or something. I like the moment where Rose meets Captain Jack, and yeah, that's the first episode we see Captain Jack Harkness. John Barrowman is outstanding, and what can I say that hasn't been said already? I love the scene when Jack and Rose were on the plane tethered up to Big Ben and having a dance and a drink with the Glenn Miller's Moonlight Serenade music. This music is so catchy. It's like a Sunday dinner music. I heard Glenn Miller was missing in action during World War II, which is really sad. Speaking of Sunday dinner, when Nancy sets up the dinner for the children and the Doctor decides to join in, that was a great moment. I can tell Christopher Eccleston enjoyed his time in that scene. And of course we get the scary child at the door with everyone running away except the Doctor. The child must be so powerful when he manages to control the radio, phones and even the monkey with the cymbals, like the one you see in Toy Story 3, by putting his voice into it. That's like a horror movie. When I first watched it, I was like, what's wrong with this kid? Where's his mum? I felt sorry for the kid when he was just wanting to see his mum. But yeah, I understand the rest of it since then. When the Doctor is like, it's not easy to leave one child outside in the cold when there's a war on, what's going on? But when the Doctor opens the door and the child mysteriously disappears with a jump scare music, whoa. When Nancy tells the Doctor that he should speak to Doctor, which she means Dr. Constantine, he decides to visit to hospital to get some information. I thought Richard Wilson as Dr. Constantine is incredible, he really is. We also explore that the child is not the only one who is a gas mask zombie. Oh no, because when the Doctor examines the people lying in beds, they've all got the same injuries, but according to Constantine, there's not one injury. Plus, him and the Doctor had something in common. They were a father and a grandfather, but not anymore, but they are still the Doctors. The freakiest bit was when Dr. Constantine became a gas mask zombie, the way the effects look with part of the mask coming out of his mouth and appear on both of his eyes. That works really well for its time. It was funny when Jack meets the Doctor for the first time, he calls him Mr. Spock, the reference of Star Trek. But Rose was like, what am I supposed to say you are? And yous are time travellers. The moment when Captain Jack realises that the Doctor and Rose are not time agents, they realise that the human DNA is being rewritten by an idiot. We have the gas mask zombies waking up and going towards the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack, calling for Mummy, while Jamie, the empty child, is going towards Nancy asking if she was his mummy, and Nancy was like, "Jamie, you're dead," which leads to cliffhanger. Man, what an episode. So yeah, I love that episode. It's scary and it's great. What are your thoughts of this episode? Drop it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.